Imagine your country's most decorated hero violently turning his back on the nation he spent his life defending. This is the chilling reality at the center of William Shakespeare's Coriolanus. To see how that betrayal begins, we have to look at Rome not as an empire, but as a city on the edge of a nervous breakdown. A severe famine has left the streets desperate and hungry. The common citizens are starving, and they point the finger at the patricians, the ruling elite, accusing them of hoarding grain while the workers die in the streets. Rome has become a societal powder keg, where the slightest spark from the ruling class could ignite a total domestic collapse. At the center of this tension stands Caius Marcius. He is the ultimate Roman weapon, fearless, efficient, and fiercely devoted to the state. But his character is a severely weighted scale. He provides immense military value, yet holds total disdain for the common people, viewing their needs as weakness. His reputation peaks, capturing Corioli almost single-handedly. This legendary feat earns him a new title, Coriolanus. This victory creates a sudden vacuum in the Roman government. The elite push their hero off the battlefield and into the high-stakes world of civilian politics. Taking a man who only knows how to destroy enemies and placing him in a system that requires him to court voters creates an immediate, grinding friction between the leader and the led. In the Roman Republic, military brilliance is not enough to secure the office of consul. Here, the only currency that matters is the support of the citizens. The election process requires a specific act of humility. Coriolanus must stand before the people, show his battle scars, and beg for votes. He goes through the motions, and the people are initially impressed by his service, but his hatred for the process is visible to everyone watching. Two political tribunes, the representatives of the commoners, see an opening. They ask the crowd why they would give power to a man who refuses to hide his contempt for them. Coriolanus does not pivot or compromise. Instead, he explodes, hurling insults at the citizens, calling them unworthy of the grain they eat. This outburst reveals the flaw Shakespeare built the tragedy around. Coriolanus isn't undone by a desire for power, but by an unbending pride that makes political survival impossible. The backlash is immediate. The city he fought to protect banishes him into permanent exile. His response to this rejection is a total defection. He goes straight to his former enemies, the Volscians, offering to lead their armies in a vengeful strike against Rome. His march back is unstoppable, ignoring the desperate negotiations of the Roman Senate. The only person who can reach him is the one who raised him. His mother, Volumnia, stands in his path, not as a general, but as a mother begging her son to save his home. For the first time, the rigid armor cracks. Coriolanus chooses his family over his vengeance, and he agrees to a peace treaty. This act of mercy is his final mistake. The Volscians see his peace deal as a betrayal of their cause, and they assassinate him on the spot. The tragedy concludes with a bitter irony. The moment Coriolanus finally learned to bend, he was crushed by a world that had come to expect only his rigidity. Coriolanus wasn't a villain in the traditional sense. He was a man of immense honor and bravery, who simply could not adapt to a changing world. The story highlights the danger of two pillars, leadership and public opinion, with no bridge of empathy to connect them. When strength exists without the ability to listen, the entire structure of the state begins to fail. Shakespeare presents a world where both sides are compromised. The leader is too stubborn to hear the people, and the people are too fickle to trust the leader. When neither the elite nor the public is willing to understand the other, the system doesn't just stall, it collapses. It leaves us with a question for our own era. In a world that demands cooperation, is raw strength ever enough to lead? True leadership often requires the one thing Coriolanus couldn't provide, the courage to change. If this deep dive into Roman politics helped you see Shakespeare in a new way, subscribe for more. And to see what happens when a hero's ambition turns into something even darker, you'll want to watch our next video.